guys, it's Jen and I'm back with another installment of my Out of the Pocket series. This is a series where I show you how to use your Project Life or Pocket Page cards on layouts. And today I am going to be using this sketch that I drew right here. And so you can see I have two smaller photos in the center, and then I have cards bordering the outside. So that's what I'm going to do today, is use the cards to create an outside border on my layout. I've chosen these two photos of me and my nephew, and those are the photos I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to put them in the center right next to each other. And you could, these are 3x4 photos. You could use photos that are smaller, or you could use a 4x6 photo. Really up to you how you want to do that. I've already gone ahead and chosen some cards that I think will work with the colors that I want to use. And these are all from the Maggie Holmes Open Book Project Life set or collection or whatever they call them. And so what I'm going to do is I kind of put them in order of how I wanted to place them. So I'm going to place them around the outside edge, and there are a couple that have words on them, so I'm just making sure that I have those ones on the bottom so they're legible. And I haven't decided if I want to put this card this way or if I want to just use this side of it yet. And I think that one I'm going to put all the way to the edge, and then this one will kind of slide in between. So I'm kind of varying the heights and where the cards go. I'll put that one a little bit out like that. This one I wanted up and down, and I think I'll put it on top of that card. And I think I'm going to put this one like that. And so wherever there's an interesting portion of the card, I'm kind of including that on the layout. Maybe I'll put that one on top. This one I think can go underneath both of those. And then maybe I'll do that one like this. You know what? I'm going to leave a space right here. I'm going to use the back of this yellow card to put next to this one, because I'm trying to create a little bit of an evenness, or just like so the colors are evenly distributed throughout the layout. And so I want areas where I get this shot of dark green, and I'm counting this card as that, and areas where I get my yellow shots, and then some green, some lighter green, and then some kind of wood green type pieces. I think I'm going to do that, and then put this one like that maybe. So I'm not being super, it doesn't matter a huge deal to me how, like, I want it to be kind of jumbled. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue all of these down, and you can use, I'm only using 3x4 cards, but you could definitely use a mixture of 3x4 and 4x6, however you want, and in whatever colors that coordinate with your photos. So this is a great way to use a bunch up, and this will, you will be chopping them up, but if you want to conserve your cards, which I don't need to do that, I feel like I have a lot and I never use them, so I want to use them up. But you can use, wherever you cut them off, you can use the back side of that card to place on another area of the layout and use half as many cards, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to get these glued down, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so I've got all my cards layered up, and I trimmed off the edges. I'm just fixing this one because it was a little bit crooked, so I'll trim that edge off as well. I wanted to show you how easy it is to take the scraps and layer them behind your photos, if that's something that you're interested in. For my purposes today, I don't think I'm going to do that, although I do kind of like the look, so I'm contemplating it. But I know for sure I want to mount my photos on some black cardstock first, which is different for me. I usually mount my photos on white cardstock, so we'll see. I might go back to the white, but I think I'll definitely layer in at least a few little strips of these little pieces of cards. And these are all the cards that I just cut off of the edges. So I just wanted to show you how you can even, get a little bit more use out of those cards. So I'm also going to stitch on my sewing machine around the outside edge of this, just to kind of tack those down and kind of give them a a fun look, so I can rough up the edges a little bit of these to give them a little bit more dimension and interest. And so I will go ahead and do that and mount my photos. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stitched that down, and I've used some black thread for just a little bit of contrast and to kind of bring in the heavier elements of these black pieces on my layout. And then I have decided that I do want to use the remaining pieces of the cards as a photo mat. I'm just going to bring it in pretty tight so that I don't take up too much space, because I still want a little bit of breathing room for your eye, because this outside edge is quite busy. So I just want to give it a little bit of breathing room. And so I'm going to put them even closer and tighter to the photos than this. I just simply matted my photo. Instead of in black, I decided to go with kind of this oatmeal colored cardstock, and you can kind of see the difference between it and white. So it kind of matches the tones of the cards a little bit more. And I don't know where I got that. That's been in my stash forever, but I've gone ahead and mounted my photos on that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these pieces adhered, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the adhesive on the card and then lay it onto the photos where I want it. And like I said, I'm going to keep it really tight. I love, love, love the pop of a diagonal stripe when you just use it in small amounts. I absolutely love that. So I'm going to mount this one next. Something I did want to mention about stitching: if you want to stitch through your papers, just be sure not to add a lot of adhesive around where you're going to stitch, because that will gum up your machine. Let's do that. And I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive on this as well, so that I can be able to tuck in other pieces underneath if I want to. So it's just a small photo mat. I don't want it to be too large. And I used these two on the edges intentionally because I have those two colors on top and bottom. So now I'm pulling them to the sides. If I were to do it this way, then it would be a whole lot of that green color all together. And then this color, there's not a shot of that down here. So I'm intentionally placing the things where there's not as much of that particular color. Except for this one, which is quite close to the polka dot, but I'm just ignoring it. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and get my title down. And so I'm going to find some thickers or some stickers to do that with, and then I will just add my title and journaling, and it will be just about done. Okay, so I've chosen some black thickers to use for my title, and my title is going to be Lunch Date. I'm toying with the idea of doing My Little Lunch Date, because I like the idea of bringing this kind of darker wood grain. It's kind of bridging these two colors here with these stickers. So I used the Front Porch Mini Market October Afternoon stickers, and then the chipboard or the stickers are the hardcover font, which is maybe my favorite font that they make. But I think I am going to do My Little Lunch Date, and I haven't adhered this because I wanted to see how much room the title would take up before I decided. I really like the way that Lunch Date fits almost just exactly across that amount of space, but sometimes I like it to be varied a little bit, so I almost wonder if I split it up and did My Little Lunch Date like that. I could do that. I think I like it better all on top. So I'm going to go ahead with it all on top and get that adhered down. And then I will put my journaling just right below the photo, just how I did in my original sketch. And then all I need to do is bring in just a couple of embellishments, and I'll call this one done. Okay, so I've got my title stuck down and my journaling as well. And I've just centered the journaling below the photos. And I've left this little space next to the title, My Little, so that I can put an embellishment here. And the obvious choice for me is some sort of arrow. And I pulled out a few other embellishments as well. So I pulled out just a few things that I thought might work. I'm toying with the idea of using some washi tape, and I have this striped washi tape, and I've ripped a piece of it, and I kind of am thinking about placing that little bit below the journaling, just so it kind of brings that black that heaviness of the black down here just a little bit. And I kind of like the way that looks, so I think I'm going to leave it for now. And I also pulled out some Heidi Swapp sheer stickers, as well as some, so these are some Heidi Swapp chipboard pieces that I got in one of the Project Life mini kits that she has that you can get at Michael's. And so I think these are from two separate ones. These pieces I believe are from the gold foil kit, and then these ones I think are from the clear kit, the one that has the acetate cards, the clear cards. And so I pulled those out as well, thinking they might work. And then these Evilicious puffy stickers. And so they're all kind of in the tones of the pages that I'm working on. And I thought, like I said, an obvious choice for right here is an arrow. So I do have this little arrow that kind of matches that yellow tone, which I like. Or I thought I could use the gold arrow, although I'm hesitant to add gold because I've added gold to everything, and I just feel like I don't want to add it to this one, which is shocking because I like adding gold to pretty much anything. My other option I thought would be this little green arrow. And I don't use green a whole lot, but this color matches the kit really well, or these cards. And so I just stuck it down. I think I might go with it. Nope. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave that light color there. And then I thought that these might be cute to kind of just bring that extra shot of black. I might just use one. And I'm leaning toward the XOXO just because I love that little guy. This is my nephew. And then I have a few little hearts. And maybe I can stick one in the center of that arrow. Kind of like that. And then maybe I want to put one of the lighter ones in the center of the arrow and then put the light and the dark one down here. Nope, I think I want to separate the three. So maybe I stick one over here with this little cluster. Maybe I move it down. So I'm just trying to get an even balance of where I want kind of my little clusters to be. I'm going to do 3. And it might end up just being what's here now, but I really do like some of these little things. Maybe what I do, no. I do like this little camera. Could stick that in this little cluster, maybe. And then if I stick another little wood grain textured piece in this little cluster, because then I've got wood grain here, here, and then I can stick a little shot of it here as well. I kind of like that. And I feel like I just need a little bit something extra up here, so maybe what I'll do is put this extra piece of washi tape, and I'm gonna just rip it even a little bit more to make it just a smaller piece. Let's see if that works. Kind of like it. I feel like I want this stripe to be gone though. That sticks up a little bit weird right there. I don't know if I can rip that. I'm gonna cut it. There we go. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuck down, and I think I'm gonna put a couple of black paint splatters to finish it off. Okay, so I've gone ahead and glued everything down, and I finished off my clusters with just a couple of black enamel dots from My Mind's Eye, and I didn't put any in this cluster because this is kind of my black dot in that cluster. And so what I'm going to do to just really finish it off is just put a little bit of Heidi Swapp Color Shine in black, and I'm just going to do it very lightly right in these little clusters. And I don't want a whole lot, just a little bit, which this isn't my usual MO, but I don't want it to be too intense. Oops, a little heavy-handed there. Okay, so that is going to complete the layout. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of my Out of the Pocket series. And if you want to see more videos in this series, just check out my playlist on my YouTube channel, which I'll link below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week.